Artlist.io.
I'm with my friend Nicholas, all the way from Cyprus. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
Very good. It's been a long time. We've talked about doing this show together since August, September.
Yeah.
It is
Mhm.
now almost June, but
Let's go.
let's go. Essentially, he's
Almost a year.
almost a year, but I'm so blessed to have you on my show. I got to
Likewise.
train with you. We met with at the Jeff Chan and Kevin Lee seminar in Athens, Greece.
Yeah.
You helped us a lot because we have plenty of stories that we'll probably tell sometime in the future. But yeah, your knowledge of the Greek language certainly helped us a lot. So
Yeah. Thank you.
so you yourself are is a gym owner as well. So just give the audience a little introduction about yourself.
All right. Hey, everyone. This is Nick from Sentient Martial Arts. So, I grew up in Cyprus. I grew up with traditional martial arts when I was young. From early age, like 6 years old, I started doing karate and taekwondo. After that, when I was 11, I was introduced to Wing Chun, and it was the time that the Ip Man movies came out. So everyone thought that Wing Chun was the best, and it was something so flashy and something so cool.
No giving it, we're match fit, we're here to win. For those who don't know, better filament, information, where the realest out here, no imitation. All around the world, no immigration, and we get it in without any invitation. Sound travels in the
So I started doing that for 3 years in one school. I didn't quite get what I wanted, so I wanted something very practical. My mind was always searching for the practical, the realistic, because the neighborhoods I grew up in, you needed to know a few things. So I moved to another school when I was like 15. Still, I didn't get as much quality as I needed, so I moved to a third school where I got my diploma. And from there, I learned that Wing Chun is more of a. We will talk about later, but Wing Chun is like an engine that you can use to get to know different martial arts and get to spar with different martial arts and to be very realistic at the end of the day. And when I was about 21, now I'm 31, I started doing MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and I've been doing that for up until now. I have my own school. I teach K1 kickboxing
Mm-hmm.
under the WKN Federation. I teach Wing Chun, and I also teach Kali, which is the art of knife and stick. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. Awesome. So obviously, the audience that are watching this channel like know that I'm from Canada, but
Yeah,
how's the martial arts scene in Cyprus? It's not really known as like say like Thailand,
yeah,
China, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're a fairly small island. We have like 800,000 Greeks only, and on the occupied side, so the northern side is occupied by the Turks. It's like another 3 to 400,000. So it's not a big population. Um, the MMA scene and jiu-jitsu scene is starting to pick up right now with the IMAF Federation, the International MMA Federation, but it's still like in in early ages. In general, we do have a lot of traditional martial arts, but mostly it's about competition. So even if you go to a karate gym or a taekwondo gym, it's only about that competition style. You will not have the depth that you might find in the US, for example. So
Mhm.
for like Kevin Lee, where we met Kevin Lee, and you could see that he's not just doing a traditional martial arts. He's living the traditional martial art. He goes into a lot of depth find new things and to incorporate his martial arts, like in everyday life, in many other martial arts. We don't really have that, and I'm trying, me and a few other people are trying to like push that thing. Yeah, to push it.
Yeah, just push it in a new direction.
Yeah,
Like yeah, well, Nick, you told me you started off with other martial arts, but
yeah.
what really did inspire you to go into Wing Chun?
Bruce Lee. I
Oh,
think
yeah, that's a fair.
Bruce Lee was the epitome for me. So I mentioned earlier the Ip Man movies. Actually, I I uh, I had already started doing martial arts and doing Wing Chun, sorry, and after a few years it came out. So until that point, I used to watch Bruce Lee all the time. Bruce Lee, the not only Jason Statham, all these guys.
Yeah,
But Bruce Lee had that different flair, you know. He had the mystical kung fu kind of flair, and I wanted that. So when I saw Wing Chun Kung Fu in my neighborhood, I was like, "Yep." I saw the wooden dummy from the window, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll go there."
that's it. There
I
you
didn't
were
know
hooked. Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
So I also do a little bit of Wing Chun back with I was very inspired with my uncle who took it up.
Mhm.
And myself with Bruce Lee, huge Bruce Lee fan.
Yeah.
And what do you think non Wing Chun people feel is the most misunderstood when it comes to Wing Chun?
That Wing Chun, it's all about the hands. So we
Mm,
do have a lot of trapping with the hands and a lot of techniques with the hands. But if you actually go into depth with Wing Chun, you will see Wing Chun being used in grappling on the floor. Uh, Something that we talked about with Kevin was in my YouTube video. He was talking about something I really correlate with Wing Chun as well, is that Wing Chun is primarily a grappling art. It's
mm,
grappling hitting art. So what you see in most videos are the things that Sifus are trying to show in order to get students. So flourishy stuff that they do with the hands, the
flashy, yeah.
some people call them, yeah, flashy stuff. They call them magic hands. So it's not about the hands though. It's about placement, and it's about smart and intelligent way of um, an intelligent way of uh, defending yourself. So not just
Mm,
covering up and hitting
yeah.
until the other person is knocked out. Controlling the situation, controlling even the placement of your hits in order to get the maximum result. Yeah.
No,
So
that's definitely something I actually teach a lot of my students. Like I teach from the shell and then forward. So I just teach
hmm,
from here, and then from here start to open up hands, start to parry. You start to use
yeah.
long guard.
Hmm,
And then if you
yeah.
do MMA, like yeah, you have to worry about like the whole level change for the double legs and all that. So yeah, that's
Mhm,
I'm pretty glad that you do mention that.
yeah.
What would you say is how do you how would you teach Wing Chun to the average student without really turning Wing Chun into like MMA?
Yeah, so it's good that you mentioned that turning
Mhm,
Wing Chun into MMA, because at the end of the day, all martial arts are looking to be realistic. They're gonna look like something like MMA, right? So they're
mhm.
gonna have grappling part of it, striking, a middle ground, a clinch. So everything's gonna be there. So yeah, how to not do that? So Wing Chun has a very strong principle of being grounded. So having your feet in a certain way that maximizes the we call it the grounding effect, to be able to have a lot of balance, but also fundamental center line theory. In order, when you see someone who is doing Wing Chun, apart from the shapes of the hands that you will understand that they know something, the way they move, then the way that we create angles, it's a bit different from traditional MMA. Well, I say now traditional MMA is something new, but
Yeah.
you get what I mean. The way that we create angles has a lot to do with knowing the forms of Wing Chun, knowing how to move around the wooden dummy. It's different from having the mindset of an octagon. So if you're in an octagon, you will move naturally in a way that expresses a fight that is between two people who are committed to have a fight, right?
Yeah.
Wing Chun will move in a way that you don't really know if there's a third person or a fourth person,
Yeah.
and
No,
you will
that's
see
right.
that. You will see that. And when I teach my students, I will teach them that footwork first, if their goal is to know Wing Chun and to know self defense. If
Thank you.
it's not,
Yeah.
I'll put some kickboxing in there, and
No, thank you. Like, is like I even talked to even my Muay Thai coach. It's like, well, like the
yeah,
first thing you should always teach is obviously like footwork. But I know it. I know it's boring and it's not fun, but like it's definitely the most important part of it.
yeah,
Um,
footwork is king.
it's king. It definitely is. When I went back to like doing more like footwork, like man, my striking just went back up again.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I don't know. I think people just want to do the fun stuff and without knowing how to move your feet.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah,
yeah.
we're very absorbed from what we see in the movies and what I
It's
think a lot of people have this internal need to express themselves. That's why they want to do the fancy stuff first.
oh,
But
that's
yeah,
true. Yeah,
if you don't know how to move, it's not gonna happen.
you're toast. Yeah. Well, have you ever actually used Wing Chun in a real life situation? So not like MMA or like
Yeah,
software or
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have
So I've
you?
used it. Yeah, I've used it not to like hit someone and knock them out, but I've used it to um uh, sedate. What was the word in English?
Uh, restrain.
To hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, restrain. Yes, the Cypriot is waking up. So yeah, to restrain their body. So once it was quite a sad story. So I was in my school, and I
Mhm.
saw a elderly guy running from the street, and he was shouting at his son to come back for some reason. So I went out and I saw his son was delusional and he was drunk, not well. He was very stiff. He was angry. He was hitting his father, and I went in to restrain him. So what I did was to control the first arm that came in, and very naturally shapes of Wing Chun came in. I got a single arm, and then I got like half choke from the back and holding his hand, and it was all from the Wing Chun forms. I mean, if a jiu-jitsu guy saw that, he would know. He would understand what I did. It's not something different, but the way I moved, it wasn't a mat-based approach of
Yeah.
two people. Well, the footwork I talked about was very Wing Chun style because I had to be. I was on a concrete with a bit of gravel, and it was slippery. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so different. And the other one, the other situation was we were at a children football match, and
Mhm.
the parents at those matches get crazy. So they're very, very competitive, and two fathers from the opposite teams, they got into an argument and they started hitting each other. So I had to go in. The children uh, where they were sitting, they started crying because they were seeing violence in front of them. Someone had to stop them. So I went in, pushed one of the guys, grabbed a rear naked choke on the other guy, sat him down. The other guy came in. I put my palm into his face so he doesn't move in. That kind of stuff, but never like someone tried to stab me and had to kill him or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, not that too crazy wild. No, I hear you. Here in Canada, like actually it's 11 o'clock right now, and we just finished the playoff game at ice hockey, and yeah,
Yeah,
ice hockey is really huge in our country.
that
So
is crazy, man.
no, it's crazy. I used to coach hockey, and like
Really?
a huge yeah. Part of my job was literally just stopping like hockey dads from killing each other.
Oh man.
It's just
Wow.
like I'm not a big guy, so it's like yeah. I mean, some of these guys are 200 pound plus. Like oh man,
Yeah.
this is a horrible part
They
time
know how
job.
to
But
brawl, dude. I've seen them on YouTube. I haven't seen live because I'm in Cyprus, but they're I mean, when you say uh, hockey to me, I just imagine someone with less of teeth
broke
than they
freaking
should.
teeth and everything. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
it can be deep though. It can be deep.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so Nick, what is the dumbest thing you've ever heard about the mythology of Wing Chun?
John, the dumbest thing. So
The dumbest thing. And
dumbest.
there's plenty of them, but
Who- so one of the dumbest thing that I hear from Wing Chun people that they say about Wing Chun is the 1 inch punch.
mhm.
So you use 1 inch punch and then the heart of the person will explode or something like that. Or the chi stuff. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I mean chi is a very general term in Chinese. Chi will mean different stuff. Chi might mean your mood. Chi chi might mean how good you do something else. So yeah, the interpretation in general of energy and what is energy, it's a bit funny to me because there is a sort of energy, but it's not something mystical that travels through the air and will
Yeah,
devastate your brain.
it's not a fireball, and everyone just keeps
It's
talking about
not.
that.
Unfortunately, it's not. I mean, I
Nah,
really want to do a Hadouken, but
yeah, me too, man. I want to do Mortal Kombat, but
yeah,
unfortunately, you know, the funny thing is like there's another guy who does YouTube. Like this whole channel is about like dojoisms, and like it never stopped. I figure at some point
never
he ran
stop.
out of material. No,
Yeah, yeah.
this show's
Never
been
stop.
it's been 10
It's,
years on YouTube, man.
you know why? Because people want to feel safe. They want to feel
Ah,
safe, and these sharks are getting they're taking advantage
God.
of them.
Oh God.
There
Well,
was this
anyway,
there was
we
this one video that someone is running towards them. They just say stop.
oh yeah, I've
You know,
seen that one. Jeez, I don't know. We're definitely getting into the hotter topics here, Nick. Uh,
yeah.
let's go with the next question here. What would you say to a keyboard warrior? And there's plenty of those who say that Wing
Mm.
Chun is slap fu.
Yeah, I would say I would actually say some of it is. Some unfortunately some people actually
Shit.
teach that way.
I didn't think you'd say that, but all right, okay.
No, no, yeah, no, listen, because a lot of people, like I said before, they're trying to take advantage, and there are unfortunately people who call themselves instructors that they would say, I will teach you Wing Chun so that you can defend yourself, and they teach you only stuff that they look cool and they do not work, and you will get slapped in the face when you go up. But I would also say some of it is come and join us, come and join ABC instructor. I will get recommendations. You will see that the way you are taught Wing Chun matters, and
Hmm.
the way you understand violence in the street matters. So it's not about knowing how to defend against a professional MMA fighter. It's not about having to defend a perfect double leg. It's not about that. It's also about that when you like reach a level and you go into into the art deeply, but it's not about that. And you have to know the timing. The timing is different.
Hmm.
Street is different. The arms are down. Your arms are down. So many of our uh, hand shapes that begin from a very low stance, it's because the arms are already down in the street. You're not gonna be here and like fight in the street. It's not street fights. It's not street beefs. It's very different. So I would say to the keyboard warrior, yes, sometimes it is, but if you really search into it and you give it a chance, you'll understand that the merit of it it's big. You understand what violence in the street is. Yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more, man. I used to be a bouncer here in Edmonton, and yeah, things are just a lot different. Even when I train jiu-jitsu, it's like, yeah, no, you should just take them down. Like it's easier said than done when there's absolute chaos and like you're in the dark. Like, oh no, it's not a mat. Oh no.
Yeah, what I found out about bouncers, because I had a few friends of mine who were bouncers, they used to use Wing Chun without knowing, because the clinch, figure four way of like holding the head and the shoulder, and a few underhooks, which we have in Wing Chun. If you know that, you're golden in bouncing, getting cover up, hitting, defending while hitting simultaneously, something that there is in Muay Thai as well.
Yep.
That's Wing Chun, man. That's Wing Chun. That's the Wing Chun part that people don't understand. That is Wing Chun. It's not about like standing and like measuring the other person and like being ready to go in, which
Yeah.
you should do as well. I mean, sparring is a regular thing, and that's why I also teach kickboxing, and I am a sampo athlete and an MMA athlete. So I do that because I want to implement my Wing Chun in the ring, because that's the place that you will really understand if something works or doesn't. But still, is your understanding in the sense of sparring, in the sense of the octagon. But in the street, it's gonna be much different, and some techniques only work in a self-defense situation and not in the octagon.
Oh man, Nick, you're awesome because that leads into our next segment. Our next
There
the
you go.
segue into our
Let's
next question
go.
here. All right, here we go. Do you think some Wing Chun schools do literally more harm with unrealistic training?
There you go. Yes, I do. Of course, I do. And I wouldn't say I have the experience at a 100%, but things I've learned from my early ages is not about not working. They did work, but they were a small piece of the pie, a very small piece of the pie. But I've seen students who learned some awful methods of defending. Um, yeah, they it does more harm. I know a guy who got knocked out because his stance was just the traditional Wing Chun stance, and he didn't know any other way.
Yeah.
I know a guy who went into a fight and he didn't get knocked out, but he got his teeth busted because he thought the way he would approach it will be something like Donnie Yen from Ip
Yeah,
Man
man.
movie.
Chase, and then we'll be back in 60 seconds with the loud bass. We're moving at our pace. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. Yeah, so yes, of course I do. Of course I do. Unfortunately, yes.
Oh,
McDonald's are everywhere, unfortunately.
it is everywhere. Actually, I'm going to skip to later. I was going to leave this for last, but since you bring in, you're so good at these segues, Nick, without even knowing. But what do you think is the biggest Wing Chun red flag in instructors or in schools today?
Hmm. Okay, so if a student like goes to learn and uh, they will tell you that if you ask them, what do we do if someone comes to take us down? They will tell you our goal is not to be taken down. We will not be
Yeah,
conquered.
I've heard that. Yeah,
Yeah,
good luck against like Khabib or something like. Yeah, easier said than
not
done.
even bro, not even Habib. Someone who's like 20 kilos above you,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and he doesn't feel any pain. He just grabs you and puts you on the floor. People, seafoods that will say we will not go on the floor because we will use eye gouges. Yeah, good luck
yeah.
with that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that. Yeah, anyone who's like huffed, if you ever, I've actually fought a guy who was huffed up on coke, and it was
Oh
striking
no,
does
man.
not work, man. I'm telling
Yep.
you right now, it's like forget. You need to put him to sleep. You have to put
Yep.
him to sleep.
Break a knee, put him to sleep, something that
Oh
will
yeah.
devastate.
I don't even think an armbar would have worked on him. He was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. He would
Put
have
him to
fought the
sleep.
armbar in. He kept going.
Man, I've seen so where I grew up, there used to be a lot of junkies, a lot of uh heavy drugs involved. I've seen people getting busted teeth, noses, everything, but because they were on the influence of drugs, didn't feel shit. Sorry for so
Oh no,
yeah,
that's what
but
we will edit it.
they didn't feel anything, bro. They didn't feel
Yeah,
anything. So yeah, knowing how to restrain someone and control their body, it's so basic and it's so fundamental that it should be in every Wing Chun class because it is in Wing Chun. They just don't show that because it's not fancy,
um,
unfortunately.
that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair. Why do you think non-Wing Chun people hate Wing Chun so much?
Because of these people, because of the McDojos, because of people who will say, "Man, I'm." I, it's been inside of me so long. I had to express it. Sorry, but I've I see these people like saying this, um, spreading this misinformation to a lot of students is very annoying. But yeah, of course, people non Wing Chun people would not like Wing Chun because they get out there and they say something that doesn't work, and the non Wing Chun practitioners, most of them are combat sports practitioners, are every day in the gym, sweating, defending takedowns, guillotines, everything. And from there, someone comes on YouTube and says something that doesn't work, and they're like, "What am I spending my whole life like trying to learn
Training,
and
yeah,
like
no.
going through so much pain for you to come on YouTube and say we would not go on the floor, we would just eye gouge."
Hell
Uh,
no. I hear
yeah.
you, man. Like, what do you think is something that you wish people understood more about, like the actual real mindset of Wing Chun, rather than just a technique?
So one of the more general lines I would give them was to keep what is useful, disregard what is not, which is something that we say in Wing Chun, and that goes into everything. That goes into the octagon. That goes into grappling. That goes into striking. Whatever. Wing Chun is about efficiency. Wing Chun is about uh, body movements that are natural and that everyone can do, and they have to know where to use each part of the Wing Chun forms in order to defend themselves. When they know that, they can very easily redirect kinetic energy, so incoming force, and hit at the same time most of the times, or disregard what is not. So if someone is like holding you very tightly, have knowing how to get out of that without excessive force because the other person might be stronger than you. Yeah. So keep what is useful, disregard what is not.
That's an awesome answer. We got a few more minutes here. If Bruce Lee was alive, what do you think he would say about the current situation of Wing Chun?
I think he would have been proud because if he was in the US, there are a lot of good seafoods there. I mean, Seafood Francis, Seafood Kevin, um, some other people from Florida. I forgot their names. Uh, they're good teachers, and they have put their feet into different pools. So what I mean by that, they went outside and they trained with other martial arts, and they know how to use the Wing Chun effectively. So I think he would have been proud. Yeah,
Cool. Now let's just say hypothetically, Conor McGregor decides to actually make a serious comeback to the UFC, and he
yeah,
hired you, and it's like, all right,
yeah.
what's Wing Chun going to do for me? What is your pitch?
Well, I think McGregor has a very open stance
Mm.
to use Wing Chun. If he wanted to close up his stance a bit and go into a clinch a bit more, I might have taught him how to use his intuition more and his sensitivity more. So Wing Chun it's about sensitivity, and we know McGregor didn't have a very good grappling game.
Mhm.
So I would take him into a mid grappling game. So I would take him into the clinch control, change their angle and hit them again, grab them, change their angle, hit them again. So that's something I would like to see from McGregor, although I'm not a big fan of him. But his game, yeah, his game is very open in sense of stance, and that's good for him. He uses that well. So if you wanted to learn something about Wing Chun, maybe some oblique kicks, because we have a lot of oblique kicks. Oblique kicks do work. I mean, we've seen it work.
John
Yeah,
Jones, yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Cool, awesome. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing with you as I did with Sanshai.
Yeah.
So what is your general message to the entire world?
In terms of Wing Chun, or
Whichever you like. Well, I mean, you are the Wing Chun guy, so yeah, we'll make it about Wing
let's
Chun.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go for Wing Chun. Yeah. So my message is to search, to have experience from many other places, and try to implement your Wing Chun method into them, because the Wing Chun engine is very strong. The idea of the center line, which is not about just this, it's about from everyone around you to be connected to your center of mass and being able to move out of that, is to experience, try. Don't be afraid. Don't sit on your couch. Go out there. And if your Wing Chun place doesn't like pressure you a lot, go somewhere that they do. Go out and experience martial arts. Don't sit on your couch. Martial arts will give you so much confidence, and they will humble you in such a way that is very useful and is very healthy, I believe. So yeah, don't sit on the couch. Go outside. That's my message. Don't sit on the couch. Go outside.
I hear you. I hear you, man. Man, it is so awesome to talk to you again. Hopefully, I'll be out there in Cyprus sometime. Hopefully next year.
Let's
And
go, man.
we could train again. Like it was awesome training with you. It's awesome to have you on my
Likewise,
show.
brother. Likewise.
I mean, I love you so much because like, you bailed me and my girlfriend out of some weird situations that happens for sure. So, yeah. Well, thank you for
Thank you, man.
for taking your morning to be on my show, and
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
and that's all we got for you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Nice seeing you.
Of course.
Artlist.io